The boy who planted walls. The wind in Turkana was less a breeze and more a persistent, abrasive sculptor. It shaped the dunes, polished the rocks, and most cruelly carried away the fertile topsoil, leaving behind only cracked earth and the ghosts of rain. For the people of Lamara Ekatela's village, every sandstorm was a siege, a blinding, choking assault on their homes and their very breath. At 13, Lamara was small for his age, but his eyes held an old wisdom, gleaned from watching the relentless struggle of his elders against the harsh land. He'd seen his mother cough dust for days after a particularly fierce storm, and his father's eyes were perpetually squinted against the grit. One blistering afternoon, as a faint, ominous haze gathered on the horizon, Lamara watched a tiny stream of rainwater, left from a rare, fleeting shower, carve a momentary path before vanishing into the thirsty ground. An idea, simple yet profound, began to take root in his young mind. He picked up a worn hoe, heavier than he was, and began to dig. His family watched, puzzled, as he scratched out shallow, curving trenches around their small, conical hut. They were not for planting crops, for there was no water for that. These were water catchers designed to hold every precious drop that dared to fall. When the next meager rains arrived, the trenches did their work, forming temporary muddy pools. In that soft, wet earth, Lamara planted. Not maize, not beans, but the hardy, tenacious seeds of the acacia tree. "They have thorns," he'd explained to his grandmother, who offered him a bewildered smile. "They will fight the wind." Each year, Lamara returned to his trenches. He expanded them, deepened them, and planted more acacia. His hands became calloused, his back strong. Some villagers laughed, calling him the tree boy, wondering why he wasted his energy on thorny bushes that offered no food. But a few, seeing the glint of determination in his eyes, occasionally helped him, digging alongside the quiet, persistent boy. A decade later, the laughter had long since died. Where once there had been only barren, wind-scoured earth around his family's compound, now stood a formidable living barrier. The acacia trees, their thorns sharp and defiant, had grown into a dense, interlocking wall of green. When the sandstorms came now, they met an obstacle they could not conquer. The howling wind still carried sand, but it was caught, deflected, and diffused by Lamara's walls of green. His village, once choked, now breathed easier, and in the deep, blessed shade cast by the spreading canopies of his trees, something miraculous had begun to happen. Elephants, their massive forms shimmering in the distant heat, began to appear. They came not for food, for the acacia's leaves were too thorny, but for the precious water that now collected in the deep, shaded hollows beneath the tree's roots, water that evaporated slower, protected by the very shade Lamara had cultivated. Lamara, now a man, stood at the edge of his green fortress, watching the elephants drink. His hands were still those of a planter, but his eyes held the quiet triumph of a visionary. He had not merely planted trees, he had planted hope, a living shield, and a testament to the power of one boy's unwavering belief that even in the driest corners of the world, life could find a way to flourish.